Hello and welcome to this class of development economics. Today we are going to discuss about demand of a product, or simply demand. And the first thing that we are supposed to do is to define the term demand. So definition of demand. We can abbreviate as DD. And therefore, demand is the quantity of a commodity that consumers are willing and able to buy at a given price over a given period of time. So there are two basic terms there that when defining the word demand, you must have to capture. That is the willingness, and the second one is the ability. In simple terms, you can be having willingness but not having ability, or you can be having an ability but not having the willingness. So, for us to say that there is demand, then the two wordings must be used in defining demand. We also have the factors that always influence demand of a product or a commodity. And these factors includes the following. One is we have the price of the product or the commodity. And the price of the product is a very great determinant of exactly what you're going to consume. Like in this case, if the price of a product is high, then you're likely to consume less of that given product. If the price of that product is not expensive, then you are going to consume more of that product. Then also we have the levels of consumers' income. Now talk about the income, and this is exactly what the consumers are going to spend. So if someone is having a lot of money, then in this case he or she is able to consume more of the product, and therefore the demand of the product is going to increase. We also have a price of other related products, the products that can serve the same purpose. In this case, if we talk about tea and coffee, you see these things can serve, or these two products can serve the same purpose, and therefore if the price of tea is remaining constant and the price of coffee is increasing, in this case, people will tend to consume more of tea as compared to coffee, and vice versa. If the price of tea is increasing and the one for the coffee is remaining constant, then more people will have to consume coffee because the price is not changing in this case. We also have what we call taste and preferences, or fashions. Our lifestyles always dictate exactly what you're going to consume. So if there is a new product in the market, people will tend to consume more of that product as compared to the one that has now gone out of the fashion. We also have the government policy. And the government policy asks for various ways in which it can either encourage or discourage the consumption of a product. In this case, if the government is going to impose more of the tax to a product, it means the price of the product is going to be expensive, and therefore we are going to consume less of that product. If the government is going to give us subsidies, a subsidy is part of the price that always the government pay on behalf of its own citizens. So the product or the price of the product will appear to be somehow cheap, and therefore we are going to consume more. We also have what we call price controls. And the price controls can be in two ways. We can talk about the maximum price and the minimum price. If we are told the maximum price is 50 shillings, then the sellers of the product, or the suppliers of the product, or the producers of the product should not have to effect that kind of a product beyond that price. That is the one that you are saying is 50. So in this case, we're supposed to sell at 50 or less than 50. If the minimum price is 50, it means the minimum price should be 50, and we don't have the maximum price for this. And therefore, if it is at 50 shillings, then you can sell at 50 or above 50. So the two prices always assist two parties in this case. Maximum price is going to benefit the consumers, and the minimum price is going to benefit the business men. We also have future expectations of the prices. Now, in this case, if you're talking about the future expectation of the prices, there's a possibility that the price in future or the following day is going to increase. Now, if you have enough money right now, you can buy more of the product if you are sure that the price of the same product is going to increase tomorrow. If the price is going to drop maybe in the following day, then what you're supposed to do is you need not to buy today, but now to buy the following day. Then we also have seasonal changes. So we have the climatic change, and this also dictates the demand of the product. Take an example that it's a rainy season. If it's a rainy season, it means we are going to consume more of hot drinks. We are going to buy more of heavy sweaters and jackets. In that case, the demand of that product is going to increase. And don't forget that when the demand of a product increases, at some point the price also increases. So those are some of the factors that always determines the demand of a product, or the determinant of a product in that case. Also, we need to discuss about demand schedule. Now, this demand schedule is always a table showing the relationship between the prices of a product and the quantities to be supplied. So always this shows the demand schedule of a given product. So we can have the price and we can have the quantity. So in this case, if the price is, let's say it is at 10, 5, yeah, you can just use the 2. In this case, this person is going to buy maybe 2, and this person is going to buy 4. In simple terms, the demand schedule is going to dictate exactly what you are going to consume. Then we are supposed also to know the demand curve. And the demand curve here is the curve showing the relationship now between the price and the quantity that you see in the demand schedule. So in this case, the demand curve always slopes from right downwards because of the nature. So this is how the demand curve is going to behave. Unless under an abnormal chances that we can have demand of a product or demand curve of a product behaving this way, or behaving this way, or behaving this way. These are the exceptional cases of the demand or the demand curve of a product. So under the law of demand, this is how the demand curve should always behave. Then we also need to know about law of demand. And this law of demand is also originating from the demand schedule and the demand curve in this case. So we'll always say that ceteris paribus, that is, holding other things constant, as the price of a product increases, we tend to consume more. And as the price of the product decreases, we also have to consume more of the product. So in this case, if the price increases, we tend to consume less. If the price decreases, we consume more. And in this case, it is going to behave this way. That is, the law of demand is going to behave this way. Remember, I'm saying it is originated from the demand curve. And therefore, if we event the price at these levels, we're also going to see exactly what is going to happen here. So let's say this is the price 1, this is price 2, this is price 3, and this is the Q1, this is the Q2, and this is Q3. So from this diagram, you find that when the price is at Q1 at the lowest, we tend to consume more at Q1. And when the price increases from P1 to P2, we consume less than what we were consuming earlier. Also, when the price increases further, we tend to consume less than what we were consuming earlier also. This is the law of demand, and in this case, as the price increases, we consume less and vice versa. Then we also have the last part of this being the movement and shift in demand curve. So for us to have the shift and the movement, there are two things that are happening here. The price is not remaining constant, and also the quantity is not remaining constant. So in this case, for the movement, we can have it this way. It is still following the law of demand. So this is what is happening. So this is still P1, this is P2, and this is P3. So you can have here Q1, Q2, and Q3. So you can have, at this point, maybe this is A and this is B. So we find that as the price is increasing from P1 to P3, then you can say there is a movement along the demand curve, that is A to B. And the same case happens when this one, when the prices decreases to P1, you can still have the movement coming downwards. So in this case, the prices are changing, and also the quantity demanded is also changing. Then when it is about a shift, we can have it in this way. So in this case, the price is remaining constant. The price is remaining constant, but the quantity that is being consumed is changing, and the quantity demanded is changing. That is, you can have this as the original demand curve, D0, and then D1. So a shift will always occur because of some other reasons. We can talk about taste, or just a change in technology in the field of economics, or just in any field of consumption. So this is exactly what is going to happen. So it can either shift to the right or shift to the left. So we can still extend this one and have another demand curve here. Maybe this is going to be D2, and in this case we can still have it moving backwards. So if we just take this to be the original demand curve, then we can still have some factors that can make this to go back, or just to shift to the left. So the shift can either be to the right or to the left, and it is being caused by, if you talk about technology, it can either be improvement in technology or just deterioration in the technology. So this is what we could cover for this lesson.